episode, Christmas Traditions Around the World. Hey y'all, I'm Heather and this is Poison Appalachia, the dark side of Appalachia. As always, thank you for listening. Merry Christmas, y'all, and happy holidays if Christmas isn't your holiday. This is my Christmas and holiday gift to you, a bonus episode. I originally wanted to do it on Christmas traditions in Appalachia, but there's not really enough for an episode, so let's just cover some traditions around the world in Appalachia. And honestly, Appalachia was full of immigrants from all over the world, so it makes sense that the world traditions of Christmas apply to many of us in this area. Also, if you hear any background noise, I have a kitten in my arms and 2 dogs in my office, so I tried to keep them out, but they sit at the door and cry. But we'll start with Appalachian traditions. Fruitcake is a big Appalachian tradition, but not quite the fruitcake that most of us think of. Between the 7 layers of cake is an apple filling made from dried preserved apples. Most households 100 years ago did not have electric food dehydrators. People used different preservation methods, such as laying apple pieces on the tin roofs of their homes or the hoods of their cars. Everyone agrees that the cake always tasted better after sitting for a few days in a cool space. Making the cake was a labor of love, and people look forward to it every year. I read even that they used it at weddings and everything too. But eating a piece of fruitcake was supposed to bring you luck throughout the year. Supposedly, some animals can talk at Christmas. This comes from the Bible. That night, as Jesus is born, the animals are overwhelmed with love for each other. Even the hogs are allowed into the stable for the first time to see the baby. Then the animals come to the realization that they have been given the gift of speech to tell the world of the miracle, the birth of Christ. Some people still believe the animals can talk at midnight. I've never heard one talk, but I'm not sure if I've ever been up at midnight on Christmas Eve or Christmas. Anyhow, also, other places I read that they kneel at midnight, so there could be that too, but talking's a lot more interesting. Mistletoe. Mistletoe is a popular holiday decoration, but it's also at the heart of a couple superstitions. One is that if you put your mistletoe under your pillow on Christmas, you'll see the face of your true love in your sleep. The other piece of folklore involves the Easter story. The old wives' tale says that the mistletoe was once a full tree, and it's used to make Jesus' cross. After that, the tree was so ashamed that it shriveled up into a small shrub and hid in the other trees. But according to legend, Jesus felt sorry for the mistletoe, so he made it a lucky decoration for people to hang in their homes. And of course, if you walk under mistletoe, you'll have to kiss the other person. Crickets. If you grew up in Appalachia, someone probably told you not to kill a cricket because they're considered lucky. Spotting a cricket on your hearth around Christmas was considered especially lucky. It meant that you'd have good luck all year. It's still common for people in our region to spend Christmas Eve reading Christmas stories from the Bible with their families. In Appalachia, it was common for the patriarch of the family to read the verses. Later, the tradition evolved to allow the children to read from the family Bible. Old Christmas, January 6th, 12 days after Christmas, was the date that the 3 wise men came to Bethlehem to see the baby Jesus. After a long time, centuries ago, Christmas was celebrated on January 6th. However, in 1582, the Julian calendar, which was based on the phases of the moon, was discarded in favor of the modern Gregorian calendar. After that, Christmas Day began to be celebrated on December 25th. But many Protestant groups, including the Anabaptists, continue to celebrate Christmas on January 6th. This is also where the song 12 Days of Christmas came from. Also, kind of along the same vein here, the 12 Days of Christmas celebrated in the well-known carol are the days from Christmas Day to Epiphany on January 6th, the time from the birth of Christ to the coming of the wise men or kings. In parts of Appalachia region, these days are called ruling days. They're called this because each day would rule the weather for each month of the upcoming year. If the weather was cold and snowy on December 25th, the month of January would be ruled by cold and snow. Each day for the next 12 would foretell or rule the weather for each succeeding month. If a young woman who visited a hog pen at midnight on Christmas Eve, you could divine the kind of man you were going to marry. If an old hog grunted first, you would marry an old man. If a young hog grunted first, your future man would be young and handsome. So, I guess if you don't get married, stay away from the hog pens. That's what I've done. Candles in the window. The Christmas tradition of placing candles in the window is still common today. The original reason for placing candles in the window of the settlers was simply because they needed to see. It also let visitors know that the residents were awake and ready to welcome guests. Lighting candles in the window was not exclusive to the holiday season, and there are many reasons why it was done. Although the candles are usually battery-powered now, people still consider it as an important Christmas tradition to place them in the windows. Caroling stems from a more mischievous Christmas tradition. Serenaders would try to surprise their friends and neighbors by sneaking up on them, singing or yelling, perhaps accompanied by fireworks or shooting. Serenaders would do this in hopes of receiving a Christmas gift or treat. The surprise element of this tradition may not be as common today, but caroling lives on. It wasn't until the 1930s that Christmas trees were popular in the mountains. Instead of stocking of treats or small sweets adorn the Christmas mantle, dancing, music, and feasting, of course, featured in the 12 days that led up to Old Christmas, while prayer and time with the family and church were also prioritized. I asked on my Facebook page if anyone had any Appalachian traditions, and I'll go over a couple of these at the end of this episode. But let's move on now to some of the rest of the world's traditions on Christmas. And please forgive me, because I will probably destroy some of these words of trying to say them, especially the Icelandic ones. Whew, they're rough. Let's start with Noche de las Velitas, Night of the Little Candles in Colombia. On December 7th, Colombia honors Mary, the mother of Jesus, and the Feast of the Immaculate Conception with Noche de las Velitas, Night of the Little Candles. An enchanting celebration that marks the start of the holiday season. Colombians light up their homes and streets with millions of white and colored velas, which is candles, and pattern paper lanterns. The Night of the Little Candles was once a small circle family-centric affair, but over the years the decorations have become more creative and sophisticated, and electrical lights are often used. Celebrations have become increasingly public, too, with music and fireworks as well as food markets. You can see something similar in Santa Fe, New Mexico in the beloved Christmas Eve Farolito Walk up Canyon Road. Here the tradition calls for simple paper bags filled with a bit of sand and a tea light. Christmas celebrates on January 7th in Ethiopia. The Christmas story tells us that the three wise men, also referred to as Magi or kings, followed a miraculous guiding star to Bethlehem from the east. To pay homage to the infant Jesus, it is generally thought that the Magi came from Asia, Europe, and Ethiopia. Many of the Ethiopians still believe that all three wise men, some say it was 12, were Ethiopian. Ethiopians follow the Julian calendar, which means they celebrate Christmas known as Gana or Gana on January 7th. People dress in white, with most wearing the traditional netela, a thin white cotton scarf with brightly colored stripes across the ends. Draped like a shawl or toga, it makes those wearing it look very kingly indeed. La Quema del Diablo, burning of the devil in Guatemala. Guatemalans practice a Christmas season ritual that's unique to the world. At sunset on December 7th, the eve of the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, people gather in towns and villages across Guatemala for La Quema del Diablo, burning of the devil. Since the 17th century, people believe that burning an effigy of the devil to cleanse their homes of the evils and misfortunes suffered in the previous year. Today, communities gather in plazas to light bonfires and burn the devil, often a piñata, at 6 p.m. Vendors sell devil horns and firecrackers, and many revelers wear devil disguises. Afterwards, families come together to eat buñuelos, traditional donuts, and drink warm fruit punch. Réveillon de Noël, Christmas Eve in Quebec. In Quebec, French-speaking families celebrated Christmas on the evening of December 24th. It's a late night to early morning event, hence the term réveillon, which comes from the French word for réveil, meaning awakening. The tradition originated in France is similarly celebrated in New Orleans. Families would attend midnight mass before returning home, where Santa Claus would magically appear to dole out gifts. Once one of these were open, everyone moved to the table for a gluttonous meal of tourtière, mincemeat pie, mashed potatoes, turkey with stuffing, and coquilles Saint-Jacques, scallops in the shell, followed by bûche de Noël, Yule log cake, and sucre à la crème, sweet tablet from the sugar and cream. For those still standing, the festivities might last until dawn. I got those last four from the Lonely Planet website. Next is Ukraine. Cobweb Christmas, one of Ukraine's favorite traditions, is not one of those with the fear of creepy crawlies. It's not for one of those with fears of creepy crawlies. Where we would have baubles, tinsels, and stars, Ukrainians use decorations that mimic the natural formation of spiderwebs shimmering with dew. The tradition goes back to a folklore about a poor widow who could not afford to decorate a tree for her children. Legend has it that the spiders in the house took pity on the family and spun beautiful webs all over the tree, which the children awoke to on Christmas morning. Spider webs were also considered to be lucky in Ukrainian culture. Now I'm kind of afraid of spiders, to be honest, but I think that's kind of a neat little legend. Germany. Pickle in a tree. The Christmas tree tradition embraced around the world today is believed to have started in Germany back in the 16th century. So it comes as no surprise that our continental cousins still have some unique customs relating to the festive conifers. One of these is to hide a pickle somewhere in the branches of the tree and give a gift to whichever child in the household finds it. Some claim the tradition may not be German after all. One legend says that the Christmas pickle originated in Spain when two young boys were held as prisoners inside a pickle barrel. The heroic St. Nicholas rescued the boys and brought them back to life. Next is Netherlands. Every year in the days leading up to December 25th, Dutch children eagerly place their shoes by the fire in hopes that Sinterklaas will fill them with small gifts and treats in the night. Traditionally, carrots are left in the shoes for Sinterklaas, a faithful steed, a white horse named Amerigo. In the olden days, naughty children would receive a potato in lieu of gifts, but potato punishment is no longer considered an appropriate scare tactic. Wales. Mary Lwyd, or Mari Lwyd, is a wassailing folk custom found in South Wales. The tradition entails the use of an eponymous hobby horse, which is made from a horse's skull, mounted on a pole, and carried by an individual hidden under a sheet. You'll never forget the moment you first see a Mary Lwyd. She has lights for baubles for eyes. Her mane is made with colorful streamers of holly and ivy. A white cloak falls from her skull, which is attached to a pole, which is held by a person inside it. They control the character's mischievous nature, often snapping their bony jaw at you. Mary is taken around a village traditionally, often between Christmas Day and Twelfth Night. She is dressed with festive lights and decorations, and usually accompanied by an ostler, and in some regions, like Ystadglass, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, in the Swansea Valleys, other folks, like a jester and a lady. This brings the tradition closer to the mummers' plays, a tradition of performances by the working class in the 18th century. When a group gets to the house, they sing Welsh language songs or wassels, and more traditionally indulge in a ritual called pwnco. It's an exchange of rude rhymes with a person who lives there. If the Mary and her gang got entry, the household is said to have good luck for the year. The Mary is well known to be mischievous, trying to steal things and chase people she likes, and as she goes about her bidding. So I'm going to be covering Krampus here in a little bit, and I think this thing is way creepier than Krampus if you look at it. I'll try to include a picture of it on my Instagram. All right, next one. It's time for me to completely butcher things. Icelandic traditions. The Icelandic people have several interesting traditions. Some are Yule rather than Christmas, but I'll combine them together here. I'll try to cover them, but please excuse my pronunciations. These all come from Arctic Adventures website that I'll be covering for Iceland. Jola Bokaflad, the Icelandic Christmas tree Eve tradition, or Christmas book flood, is a unique and cherished cultural practice in Iceland, deeply rooted in the nation's love for literature and storytelling. In Iceland, Book Flood is celebrated on Christmas Eve and revolves around giving and receiving new books, often accompanied by delicious treats like hot cocoa, Icelandic chocolates, or even a special beer. The night is spent in the company of loved ones, reading and sharing stories, creating memories that last a lifetime. This one I actually really like. I think it's a really cool idea. There's a Yule Cat, Yule Lads, and Gryla, the Yule Lad's mom, who's a witch. I'll start with the Yule Lads and Gryla. I don't know if anyone has seen The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on Netflix, but there's a pretty good episode featuring them, but the real tales go a little differently. So the eve before December 12th, everyone who believes in the Yule Lads will put a shoe on the windowsill and keep it there for 13 days. The particular number has to do with the number of Icelandic Jólasveinar, or Icelandic Santa Clauses if you prefer. Every night until Christmas, a new Yule Lad will visit the window and place a small gift in the shoe. For many, the Yule Lads are the best part of the days leading up to Christmas Day. December 12th, Stekkjastar, which is sheepcoat clod, the first Yule Lad, comes on the night before the 12th of December. He's said to suck milk from a sheep and was known for having 2 wooden feet, peg-legged. Guard your sheepies while they lay, where they lay. December 13th is Giljagar, Gollygawk. The second Yule lad comes from the night before the 13th of December. He was known to hide in barns and steal the froth of milk buckets. Goodbye, good froth. December 14th is Stufar, Stubby. The third one of the Yule lads comes in the night before the 14th of December. He was known for being unusually short and stealing pans to eat the crust left in them. Well, who can blame him? I've known a scrumptious crust or two. December 15th is Vorslaker, which is spoon licker. The fourth of the Yule lads comes the night before the 15th of December. He's known for being tall and thin and for stealing vuar, which is a long wooden spoon to lick them. Kind of gross. December 16th is Potaskefel, which is pot licker. The fifth of the Yule lads comes the night before the 16th of December. He's known to steal leftovers from pots, so guard your codfish soup. Ugh. December 17th, Aska Slaker, bowl licker. The sixth of the Yule lads come on the eve of the 17th of December. He was known to hide under beds while people would place their askur, a plate used for all meals, and then he stole the askur and ate from it. December 18th is Herdescaler, the door slammer. The seventh of the Yule lads comes the night before the 18th of December. The loudest one, he was known to slam doors, especially during nighttime. So I can't blame my neighbors on that one. December 19th is Skyrgamor, which is Skyer Gobbler. The eighth of the Yule lads comes from the night before the 19th of December. Skyer Gobbler was known for being obsessed with the Icelandic yogurt Skyr, or Skyr. I'm probably saying it wrong. It says that Skyr is really delicious, so I don't know. December 20th is Junganakreker, sausage swiper. The ninth of the Yule lads comes on the eve of the 20th of December, known to hide the rafters and steal sausages that were being smoked. December 21st is Glugageiger, is a window peeper. The 10th of the Yule lads comes the night before the 21st of December, probably the creepiest one. He would peek inside windows to see if there was anything to steal. December 22nd is Godapeffer, the doorway sniffer. The 11th of the Yule lads comes on the night before the 22nd of December. Known to have an extremely long, large nose and amazing sense of smell, he usually uses to sneak out yummy loaf of bread. Whatever that was. I assume it's some sort of bread. December 23rd, Keth Croker, meat hook. The 12th of the Yule lads comes the night before the 23rd of December. He's the one who uses a hook to steal meat. Sounds kind of scary, but December 24th is Kurtesnacker, is candle stealer. The 13th of the Yule lads comes on the night before the 24th of December, the one that followed children to steal their candles, which used to be edible, made from fat. So you may be thinking, what? 13 Yule lads? There's way too many. But wait, even that's not all. The family actually consists of the 13 Yule lads, who are all brothers, their mom Gryla, their dad Lepaludi, and then there's the cat. Gryla is a Yule lad's mother. She has an uncanny ability to detect when children are not behaving all year round. During Christmas, she leaves her home in the mountains to hunt the naughty children and make stew out of them. According to legend, there's never a food shortage for this feisty character. Lepaludi, the lazy husband, Gryla's husband and father to the Yule lads, is known for not doing much around the house. But not much else is known about this big-nosed man. He's never seen kidnapping or cooking children. But he does eat what Gryla cooks. The Yule cat. The Yule cat, also known as Jólakötturinn, is a famous black hairy animal that hunts children who don't receive something new to wear for Christmas and then eats them. It comes as no surprise that he's a house pet of Gryla and her husband. Alright, so let's move on to another country. Sweden. The Yule goat has been a Swedish Christmas symbol dating back to the ancient pagan festivals. However, in 1966, the tradition got a whole new life after someone came up with the idea to make a giant straw goat, now referred to as Gavle goat. According to the official website, the goat is more than 42 feet high, 23 feet wide, and weighs 3.6 tons. Each year, the massive goat is constructed in the same spot. Fans can even watch a live stream from the first Sunday of Advent until New Year when it's taken down. Finland. On Christmas morning, Finnish families traditionally eat porridge made of rice and milk topped with cinnamon, milk, or butter. Whoever finds the almond placed inside one of the puddings wins. but some families cheat and hide a few almonds so the kids don't get upset. At the end of the day, it's customary to warm up in a sauna together. Many homes in Finland come equipped with their own sauna, and at Christmas time, this cozy spot becomes a sacred space associated with the long-dead ancestors. On Christmas Eve, it's customary to strip naked and take a long and respectful stint in the sauna, which is also believed to be home of the legendary sauna elf. I couldn't find anything else about the sauna elf, so I'm not sure what he is. Italy, Befana the Witch. On January 5th, throughout Italy, excited children prepare the late-night visit from La Befana by hanging up socks to be filled with small delights. Befana, a grandmotherly woman who resembles a kindly witch, brings gifts to good little children, depositing them in stockings hung above the hearth, when tidying up a bit before taking her leave. As Befana enters a house through the chimney or resorts to other top-secret techniques for getting in a home without a fireplace, she wears a distinctive dark shawl caked with layers of chimney soot. It's also said that she sweeps the floor of a home before she departs, a symbolic gesture for clearing out the old just as the new year is dawning. Germany, Belsnickel. The traditional Belsnickel showed up at houses 1 to 2 weeks before Christmas and often created fright because he always knew exactly which of the children misbehaved. He would rap on the door or the window with his stick, and often the children would have to answer a question for him or sing some type of song. The Belsnickel originated in the Palatinate region of Europe, and is thought to be based on a companion or servant of St. Nicholas. He's often adorned in animal fur, torn and dirty clothes, and will sometimes wear deer antlers atop his head. Hence the German word for bells translates into fur, and nickel refers to St. Nicholas. The tradition is in some parts of Pennsylvania, having come over when the German immigrants came. Austria. Alpine countries like Austria have a devil-like creature called Krampus. I think we all know Krampus right now. It's kind of become popular in this country. But Krampus joins St. Nicholas festivities on December 6th. Children are asked for a list of good or bad deeds. Good children are rewarded with sweets, apples, and nuts, and bad children worry that Krampus might bring on Christmas morning. The legend of Krampus dates back centuries, originating as a German tradition during the 12th century. Krampus has his origin in pagan traditions in the winter solstice. Later, he became part of the Christian traditions in which St. Nicholas visited children to reward them on December 5th or 6th. Around that time, his menacing partner would also visit the kids to punish them. In Alpine Austria and some parts of Germany, this day was known as Krampusnacht or Krampus Night, when adults might dress up as Krampus to frighten children at their homes. I actually went to a Christmas haunted house this year, and it had Krampus in it. Who knew that such things existed? But it was really fun. I hope to do one again next year. Japan. This is probably the newest tradition on the list, and most definitely the craziest. Back in 1974, the American fast food restaurant KFC released a festive marketing campaign in Japan. The seemingly simple slogan, Korisumasu Niwa Kentucky, Kentucky for Christmas, spawned a national tradition that still thrives to this day. After Christmas, although Christmas is not a national holiday in Japan, families from all over the country head to their local KFCs for a special Christmas Eve meal. Also of note, and I'll probably leave some holidays out, but here are a couple of other holidays celebrated in the season. Kwanzaa. It's an annual celebration of the African American culture from December 26th to January 1st, culminating in a communal feast called Karamu, usually on the 6th day. It was created by activist Maulana Karinga based on African harvest festival traditions from various parts of West, East, as well as Southeast Africa. Kwanzaa was first celebrated in 1966. 21st century estimates place the number of Americans who celebrate Kwanzaa between 500,000 to 2 million. This year, Kwanzaa is celebrated Thursday, January 26th through Wednesday, Thursday, December 26th through Wednesday, January 1st. Next is Hanukkah. Hanukkah is observed for 8 nights and days, starting on the 25th day of Kislev, according to the Hebrew calendar, which may occur anytime from late November to late December in the Gregorian calendar. The festival is observed by lighting the candles of a candelabrum with 9 branches, commonly called a menorah. One branch is typically placed above or below the others, and a candle is used to light the other 8 candles. This unique candle is called the shamash, attendant. Each night, one additional candle is lit by the shamash, until all 8 candles are lit together on the final night of the festival. Other Hanukkah festivities include singing Hanukkah songs, playing a game of dreidel, and eating oil-based foods such as latkes, sufganiyat, and dairy foods. Since the 1970s, the worldwide Chabad Hasidic movement has initiated public menorah lightings in open public spaces in many countries. Hanukkah is celebrated this year, the evening of Wednesday, December 25th through Thursday, January 2nd. Yule is a winter festival historically observed by the Germanic peoples that was incorporated into Christmas during the Christianization of the Germanic peoples. In present times, adherents of some new religious movements, such as modern Germanic paganism, celebrate Yule independently of the Christian festival. Scholars have connected the original celebrations of Yule to the Wild Hunt, the god Odin, and the heathen Anglo-Saxon Modronite, which is Mother's Night. The term Yule and cognates are still used in English and in the Scandinavian languages, as well as Finnish and Estonian, to describe Christmas and other festivities during the winter holiday season. Furthermore, some present-day Christmas customs are traditions such as Yule log, Yule goat, Yule boar, Yule singing, and others may have connections to older Yule traditions. This year, Yule is Saturday, December 21st through Wednesday, January 1st. Boxing Day. A British tradition that occurs the day after Christmas and dates back to the 1800s when Queen Victoria ruled the throne. At the time, it was a day to ensure that upper-class Britons gave servants and workers a day off, in addition to giving them a present. The holiday has since evolved into a more commercial occasion for gift giving. Bodhi Day. Also known as Rohatsu, the Buddhist tradition honors the day in which the Buddha is said to have achieved enlightenment. Many Buddhists celebrate it through meditation, and it's on December 8th. St. Lucy's Day, also called the Feast of St. Lucy, is a Christian feast day observed on December 13th. The observance commemorates Lucia of Syracuse, an early 4th century virgin martyr under the Diocletianic persecution. According to legend, she brought food and aid to Christians hiding in the Roman catacombs, wearing a candlelit wreath on her head to light her way, leaving both hands free to carry as much food as possible. Because her name means light, and her feast day had at one time coincided with the shortest day of the year prior to calendar reforms, it is now widely celebrated as a festival of light. Falling within the Advent season, St. Lucy's Day is viewed as a precursor of Christmastide, pointing to the arrival of the light of Christ on December 25th, Christmas Day. St. Lucy's Day is celebrated most widely in Scandinavia, Italy, and the island nation of St. Lucia. Each emphasizing a different aspect of her story. In Scandinavia, where Lucy is called Sancta Lucia, she is represented as a woman in a white dress, symbolizing a baptismal robe, and red sash symbolizing the blood on her martyrdom, with a crown of wreathed candles on her head. Also, if you've ever seen pictures of St. Lucy, she holds a platter with her eyes on it, because I guess that's how she was killed, like her eyes were gouged out. But that's kind of disturbing. I know I'm missing several holidays, but this gives you a brief idea of how some of the holidays are celebrated around the world. So there you go, Christmas all over the world. Do you have any traditions similar to these? What traditions do you celebrate with Christmas? I don't think we ever had any special traditions growing up, but my mom always let me unwrap one gift on Christmas Eve, and it was always pajamas. So that was kind of cool, I guess. So here's the traditions I got from Facebook posts. Barbara F. said fruitcake. I remember when everyone made them and gave them to friends and neighbors. Debbie W. said apples, oranges, and walnuts in our stockings. Michelle C. said cuddling up with hot chocolate and enjoying the glow of the fire. Janet K. said real candles on our tree, a German tradition. Katrina L. said, when I was growing up, Santa Claus always left a basket of mixed nuts and a basket of oranges and or tangerines under the tree for us. The smell of citrus would hit us as we came down the stairs, and we loved the treat of nuts and fruit over the next few days. Still to this day, the smell of oranges makes me think of Christmas morning. Kara O. said, the food, only time of the year we got fried oysters and Watergate salad. So those are some of our traditions. Hope you are enjoying whatever holiday you celebrate. One more episode this year, and we'll be in 2025. Hard to believe as this year's flown by. Thanks for listening, and as always, follow me on social medias under Poisoned Appalachia. Merry Christmas, y'all, and happy holidays, y'all.